The former First Lady, Mrs. Michelle Obama, talked about moi.
But there's drama in sports.
There's so much drama.
Yeah, that's right.
If I listen to ESPN for an hour, it's like watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's the same drama, and they're yelling at each other, and they don't get along. I mean, Stephen A. Smith, he's just like every other talk show host.
Real Housewife.
He would be.
Right.
It would be amazing.
I really appreciate that you watch First Take. You tried to deny it, but you wouldn't know I'm so loud if you wasn't watching. Because you ain't making that judgment but just watch if you want. You know you watch First Take. You know it. You know you know it. You know your husband watches it too. I appreciate the fact that I'm known in the Obama household.
Michelle Obama just compared Stephen A. Smith to a real housewife during her podcast, and let's just say he didn't stay quiet. On her EMO with Michelle Obama and Craig Robinson podcast, Michelle dismissed ESPN's talk shows, especially First Take, as just sociological drama, saying it's like watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And yes, she called Stephen A. Smith just like every other talk show host, implying he would fit right into that reality TV circus. Obviously, Stephen A. didn't take that lightly.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
This isn't just shade, this is a power move. Michelle has always been sharp, strategic, and fully aware of cultural symbolism. By calling Smith a housewife of sports TV drama, she's highlighting how media has turned into emotional entertainment, not analysis. Meanwhile, Stephen A.'s reaction flipped politics, race, and identity all at once, calling her remarks emotionally manipulative, especially pointing to her comments on Trump and women's votes in 2024.
Also declined his history as a convicted felon, a known slumlord, a predator found liable for sexual abuse. All of this while we pick apart Kamala's answers from interviews that he doesn't even have the courage to do, y'all. Please, do not hand our fates over to the likes of Trump, who knows nothing about us, who has shown deep contempt for us.
In this episode, we're unpacking Michelle's full podcast clip, why she made the Housewives comparison Stephen A. Smith's response on his podcast and social channel, the video reactions from both sides. You'll see snippets of Michelle's full quote and Stephen A.'s rebuttal, times and edits included. But before we get into the footage, take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow, improve, and it helps for the algorithm. It also brings you even better videos, and it is free. And if you've got tips, thoughts, or things we can do better, drop them in the comments. We actually read them, and we'll listen, and if we able, reply to all your comments. Look, Michelle's point isn't a felony. Sports commentary has become performative, but calling out Stephen A. like that? That's personal. Stephen A., in turn, defended his integrity and fired back with politics, race, and voter agency. It's a head-to-head moment between cultural critique and media persona. So yeah, we've got beef, bias, and full receipts from both sides. Let's roll the tape of Michelle.
NYC.
Yes.
You watched
yes.
Next Gen NYC.
I watched the first 2 episodes,
Yeah.
and I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh, they're starting the babies off early. Oh my God.
What
Are they actual babies?
So they're children of housewives and like of Bravo celebrities, we call them.
They're really like the princes and princesses of Bravo, now seeing if they're worth their salt when the camera's fixed on them.
And they've been on the screen. It's like Austin and Aaron at 7. They were babies being shot, and
That sounds
now
like
they're
child
in New York.
abuse.
I think there's legislation that's being written about that. No, it is really trippy to watch.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But it's juice.
It's juice.
It's tea.
But culture is king, and even though you're razzed for your reality tastes, like it's still, we like to think of it as like, people are like, oh, you guys balance high-low so well, but it's all horizontal to us. It's all on the same on the
It's
same
all
plane.
a sociological study. I was a soc major, and so were you.
I was.
Now, they think that sports is better reality TV. I was like, it's the same thing.
Pretty much.
This is what I've heard, though, about sports. And I would love to know more
It's
about
like
athletics sports. In general.
You know, my dad was a varsity football and baseball coach for 40 years and a phys ed teacher. So growing up, like, I was an athlete kind of by necessity, in my own head at the time, because I, of course, you know, who doesn't want to impress their dad and stuff. But I credit a lot of the reason why I have a work ethic, why I know what it is to hit deadlines, why I know what it is to know how to rehearse, even as a performer, all to sports. So it's that in terms of sports culture, like I was like a late 90s Mets super freak, super fan. But those things, like, that is, I mean.
But there's drama in sports.
There's so much drama.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, if I listen to ESPN for an hour, it's like watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Absolutely.
You know? I mean, you know, it's the same drama, and they're yelling at each other, and they don't get along. You know, I mean, Stephen A. Smith, he's just like every other
he'd
talk
be a
show
great
host.
Real Housewife.
He would be.
Right.
It would be amazing.
So that's why I'm like, what's the difference? It's just, you know, it's just sociological drama. I mean, the fact that people over seasons of working together still can't get along.
Right.
They still have the same arguments, you know, and it's not just women, but this happens in sports too.
Right.
I find it fascinating.
It is.
It's just like, why do you keep going to dinner together?
Now, let's be honest. Michelle Obama knew exactly what she was doing. Calling Stephen A. Smith a real housewife on her podcast wasn't just casual shade. It was a full-blown dig at his entire media persona. She basically said sports shows like First Take are just male reality TV. Drama, ego, yelling, no real difference from Real Housewives of Atlanta. And to use that comparison on Stephen A. Smith, the king of hot takes? That's personal. But y'all already know, Stephen A. doesn't stay silent when his name gets dragged like that. He took to his podcast, laid it all out, and clapped back hard. Let's roll the tape.
Mrs. Michelle Obama talked about moi. It just so happens that yours truly came up on her IMO podcast, which she hosts with her brother Craig Robinson. While discussing the battle for the remote in her house with sports versus reality TV, she compared ESPN to Bravo and me to the face of the network, Andy Cohen himself. Take a listen to this.
This is where I want to educate my brother and even my husband who will be listening. Culture is king. You know?
Culture is
I mean,
king.
the truth is like they razz me about my love of reality TV and The Real Housewives.
Let's
I
go.
watch it all.
You watch it all?
All of it. They think that sports is better reality TV. I was like, it's the same thing. There's drama in sports.
There's so much drama.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, if I listen to ESPN for an hour, it's like watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta.
That's
You know,
right.
I mean, you know, it's the same drama, and they're yelling at each other, and they don't get along. You know, I mean, Stephen A. Smith, he's just like every other
he'd be a
talk show
great
host.
Real Housewife.
He would be,
Right.
It would be amazing.
So that's why I'm like, what's the difference? It's just, you know, it's just sociological drama. I mean, the fact that people over seasons of working together still can't get along.
Right.
They still have the same arguments, you know, and it's not just women, but this happens in sports too.
Right.
I find it fascinating.
You know, it's the former First Lady in the United States of America. Somebody that I personally revere and believe to be the greatest First Lady in American history. That's my personal opinion, and I stand by it. Smart, active, highly intelligent, very accomplished, wonderful values and morals. As far as I'm concerned, she's the closest thing to perfection I've ever seen from a First Lady in the White House. That's just how I feel about it. No disrespect to the great Nancy Reagan and, you know, Jackie Kennedy and all these other folks in between. Barbara Bush, everybody else. It wasn't Michelle Obama, not to me. Okay? So, first thing I want to say is, thank you for watching. I really appreciate that you watched First Take. You tried to deny it, but, you know, you wouldn't know I'm so loud if you wasn't watching. Because you ain't making that judgment but just watching me once. You know you watch First Take. You know it. You know you know it. You know your husband watches it too. I appreciate the fact that I'm known in the Obama household. I'm touched by that. I actually am touched, okay? So let me get that out the way first. Secondly, though, to your brother Craig Robinson, you know I got love for you, my brother. I haven't seen you in a while. All the best to you, my man. Can't wait to see you down the line. Number three, I would like to see you, Madam First Lady, Mrs. Michelle Obama, I would like to see you have some people on your podcast with dissenting opinions, dare I say. That would be nice. So they could have an opportunity to clap back if you say something. Just would be nice, you know. I mean, I'm just saying. Fourth, Andy Cohen, ain't no shame in being compared to him. That's the face of Bravo. He created all those reality shows. He's a highly, highly successful individual. You understand? Who's beloved by millions of people out there. So for me to be compared to him, there's no shame in that. Okay? That's number four. Number five, however, with all seriousness, Michelle Obama, I want to take this opportunity to remind you that while you are revered by me personally, and I truly, truly mean that with the greatest sincerity, I'm still a bit salty at you. When you were campaigning on behalf of the former Vice President Kamala Harris, who I'll get into in a minute, by the way, and you were giving a speech, I believe it was in Detroit, if I remember correctly, but I'm not sure. It was in the middle of the day. It was carried live. You said a vote for Trump was a vote against you and a vote against y'all as women. I want to state for the record, I took major offense to that. Black men don't just love our black women, we revere y'all. You've practically raised most of us. Think about the most hardcore individual you can find who is a black man from the streets of America. If there is one person who can walk up to him and slap him silly and get away with it, it's his mama or his grandma. It's who we are. And to say what you said back then, I think to this day is the only thing that I didn't like that you said. I didn't appreciate it. Because there's so many things that go into deciding where your vote is going to go. For some people, it's all about the economy. For others, it's all about national security. For some people, it is immigration. For some people, it's safety in the streets of America. Long before they think about pro-choice or pro-life. I'm talking about men. There's a reason why Trump got about 57% and Kamala Harris ended up with 42, even though Biden had won the young male vote 4 years earlier. Because life changes and other issues become more pertinent to people. Now, I voted for Kamala, even though I wouldn't vote for Trump. I wasn't excited about voting for Kamala either, particularly after I heard about some of the shenanigans that the Democratic Party was engaging in leading up to the election. But I'm talking specifically to you, Madam First Lady. You are not just beloved, you are revered. You are sensational in so many ways. I've been on the record on this show and many others stating, had you run for president, you would have beat Trump. I still would.
So, yeah, Michelle came with the shade, and Stephen A. brought the fire. Whether you think she was just joking or throwing real shots, this moment got people talking. Two powerful voices, two strong takes. And now it's your turn. What do you think? Was Michelle out of line? Or was Stephen A. just too sensitive? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're reading everything. And if you're feeling the heat like we are, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on that bell so you don't miss the next drop. You already know. This is Duku Entertainment, where the tea is always served hot. See you in the next one. Nutley Cat.